Cool. Thank you all for coming. Today, well, in this bit session, it's not going to be long. I'm just going to explain exactly what's happening on the market, why everything has dipped down quite a lot, and why everything is pretty much going down. What to expect? Are you losing your money? Is this normal? Is this not normal? Yeah, just in general, what to kind of expect. So, if you kind of want to look at the market and assess whether the market is going down or up, it's really important to do that before you make large investments. So, for example, for the challenge, the reason I said start with $500, essentially with the challenge, you want to put in money that you can afford to lose, but your main portfolio shouldn't be affected in that way. So what I mean by that is, imagine you have, for example, a let me clear this and let me actually draw it. So any good crypto investment, you should have a pie, right? And you should have about 75% of it should be long-term holdings. So we're talking about the Bitcoin, the LTC, the Ethereum, the ADA, the top 10 coins, and then you should have some DeFi projects in here like AAVE, Link, Theta, and then you should have some other ones. And then here you should have the short-term coins. And the short-term coins is kind of like going for the 10-20%, and that's what the challenge is about. Now, this doesn't mean that you should have bought this at the start of the bull run, because the bull run for alt season at least hasn't started yet. The best thing to do with your investment strategy should be something along this line, where in your long-term strategy, you should stay cash heavy. So at the moment, you should be about 50% in terms of liquidation before investing into your long-term, topping up at every dip. For example, if we look at the Ethereum chart, let's look at Ethereum contracts. So the Ethereum chart, now Ethereum has reached almost its all-time high about here, but you should constantly be topping up at the dips, maybe 1 to 2%. This lowers your average and is very good. The reason you should stay cash heavy is because the market in crypto, whenever we go on a bull run, every time we break an all-time high, we tend to go into a corrective phase, and that corrective phase tends to last about 4 to 5 days. So if we look at that, and I can actually show you. So this is the price movement of the whole crypto index, so every single cryptocurrency, and this is the 1 hour chart. We can do the 1 day chart. I think that'll look a little bit less clear, but so ever since the start of December, some people would like to say November is when the bull run started. I like to see it as December. That's when the real institutional money came in. That's when volume picked up. So ever since then, we've been going on a run. Every time we've broken all-time high for the crypto index, so if I make this a little bit bigger, every time we've broken a all-time high, we tend to go into a corrective phase. This is something completely normal. So every time we broke an all-time high here, we went into a corrective phase where we dropped 30%. And then when we try to retest this, so when we broke this again, we go into a corrective consolidation phase, and then we break it again, and then we go down again. This is just something completely natural. 30% again. So it's done this twice so far while breaking the all-time high. Now, it has done something extremely important in the last few days. We have broken a major resistance barrier at 24,000, about 25,000, but let's just say 24. The reason this barrier is really, really important, this puts cryptocurrency above the market cap of $2 trillion. Okay, this is such a major milestone, meaning that the cryptocurrency can almost be compared to the stock market. This attracts institutional investment. This does a lot. Now, since we have broken the all-time high, we are due for a very corrective phase that's happening. So you might be wondering, okay, so we're due for a corrective phase. How much will it dip by? This dip is very healthy. We need it to dip, right? As long as it doesn't break the price movement, and it's done this multiple times, it will dip and it will reach near the price movement, and then it'll go back up. We need this to happen because you don't want just one rocket or one candlestick going up. This just doesn't happen in any kind of market. You need stuff to go down. And if we look at some of the indicators, so let me just put these a little bit smaller. So this is the RSI. So if something's over 70, that means it's overbought, and if something's under 30, sorry, it means it's under 30 is underbought, over 70 is overbought. So whenever we reach about the top above 70, we tend to lose value, so people tend not to sell off. And when we reach above 70, below 30 or anywhere near here, people tend to buy in again. Now we haven't reached under 30 for the crypto index, which is completely fine. It's a bigger market, so that wouldn't happen. Now something interesting is really happening right now. We are going through a corrective phase. However, the corrective phase right now is extremely important because we have a lot less room to break the price movement. So that's causing a lot of panic for people. If you have a lot less room to drop, so at the moment we only have a room of another 15 to 16% drop. For me, this makes perfect sense, and for big institutions, this makes perfect sense. But what this generally means is that, let's answer some questions now in terms of that. Does this mean that the crypto market will keep going down? It will probably correct a little bit down, a little bit more. It has space to do about half more. So if you're down 15%, I personally would expect you to be down 30%. Do you expect is it a good time to buy in? Probably not, right? So now might not be the best time to buy in because stocks could drop a little bit more. But what we do know is that each stock is primed and ready to go. So if you look at individual stocks, so let's say we looked at maybe like Link, right? So Link is very much primed and ready to go. The stats are way underneath. It's supposed to go up and it's supposed to rise really, really high. But the problem is every cryptocurrency is kind of reactive to the market, which is fine. The main thing is that you don't panic. If you are down right now, the whole point is do not sell. Okay? Because if we look at this bit, if we look at the crypto index again, let's say you bought at about this high here. Let's say about there, right? And now you're down. Now you're down 15%. Should you panic? Probably not. When you should start panicking is when we break the price movement and when we break the consolidation level. This bull run will last about 8 to 9 months. Okay? So that basically means if you were to close your app and just do...
Quick question.
Go ahead.
How do you know it's going to last around 8 to 9 months?
So on average, one thing we can look at is this model called the stock to flow model. So Bitcoin is not treated as a currency. It's actually treated as a commodity. Now, some of you might ask, what is a commodity? A commodity is a asset that is used to derive value for another asset. So, for example, gold. We can't eat gold. We don't really use gold to build stuff, but we use gold to determine the value of the dollar, right? That's why it's a commodity. Same thing with Bitcoin. Bitcoin has become such a large project that no one's really building on Bitcoin. No one's really using Bitcoin. It's mainly about using other cryptocurrencies. But it's the determining factor of how our market is going. So with Bitcoin, this is called the stock to flow model. So if any of you do financial economy or have some kind of education on this, stock to flow models are very common. What this means is you can kind of predict when Bitcoin is going to halve in price. So if we look at maybe 2018, near 2017 November, Bitcoin did its all-time high, but the stock to flow model kind of predicted that it's going to halve because the colors got a little bit more in depth, and then it halved at about this stage, about to 3,000 all the way up from 8,000. Now, where we are now, about 6th of April, we are at 58,000, and we're nowhere near Bitcoin halving. So the bull run is supposed to continue. The indicators are telling us that should be fine. We are, though, going through a corrective stage. So if we were to compare this to the last bull run, we are in 24 of May 2017 when it was 900. And it shot up that year to about 8,000. Right now we are at the 60k mark. If we continue down this line and we follow this model has been accurate since 2012. We should see a top of all time of Bitcoin reaching about 85,000, and then it should halve. So we are nowhere near to be done. But mainly what I wanted to get out of this call was basically saying, should you try and buy into lower coins? I'm holding my coins. So the ones I said for the challenge to hold was Tron. Yeah, Tron, Hot, Win, and BTC. There's a reason I specifically chose those four, because I knew the market was going down a little bit, because the Tron brothers do not react to the market as well as the others. So, for example, if the market was to slightly move up, Tron, BTT, Win, and would move up significantly. And they're holding their value on average across all coins. So you can see that here. There's also an altcoin index. So the altcoin index also broke a major resistance level. So the altcoin itself hasn't really started yet because we're still long to go up. But in general, if you look at every other altcoin, they're down about 20 to 30%. The Tron brothers are not down that much yet. They will go down, but they're very reactive. So when the market bounces back up, the money should go back up. So I'm very much not worried about this market. We're still all the indicators are telling us this is just a correction. It happens all the time. Once we break an all-time high, I wouldn't be worried.
Wait. So just to get clear, you're saying that we're actually very, very early.
Yeah.
How many months in are we?
So if this was, I don't know if you were watching the 2017, we're about to start the bull run, essentially.
What?
We're just.
You serious?
Yeah, because if we look at the bigger picture of the crypto index, this correction right here from when all the stock starts dropping is genuinely nothing. This has been happening for, if you were here, if you invested in the crypto market February 21, because that's when I was holding crypto, my portfolio went down 30 to 40%. Was I worried? No, of course not. Because we are still in a very much positive way. In fact, we will keep moving in a very positive way. If we do break the price movement of the way it's going, then I'd start getting a little bit worried and I'd be like, guys, might be time to start liquidating some positions. But right now, I'm very confident. I could probably sleep for 5 days and be very confident that it will go back up. Now, if you're going to ask me how long this will last, I don't know. Right? It could be a week. Now, one thing everyone has to know is that the Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency market is very much so. Think about this. There is a few hedge funds, there's a few institutional investors that tend to put a lot of money into crypto, and that's what kind of moves the market. So a lot of money moves the market. It's not you, me, us all in this, in this server that's moving the market right now. We don't have enough funds to do so. But remember that when the stock market is open, just the normal market, that's where most people put their money. When the weekend comes along, like around today, tomorrow, people tend to put more money into crypto and just kind of withdraw it at the same time. But right now we're going through a heavy correction, which shouldn't be too long, so I wouldn't be too worried about it. But you should see a little bit of more of a dip. Just hold on to your money, be very careful about investing, because next time, I think my personal prediction for this is that we'll start seeing things pick back up maybe in 2 to 3 days. That will be probably the bottom. And then things will pick up, and then we'll be at all-time highs again. And then when that happens, we'll dip again to about the high of this level. So this is just a constant cycle. What I said about being cash heavy, about 50%, is that the best investor would put some money in these corrections, let it run, and then when the correction happens, you should constantly be putting in about 5% into your long-term holdings every time the correction is happening. Where you do it in the correction doesn't really matter, but for example, after this correction, you should be 45% in cash. Wait for the next correction and keep doing so. That's the best way to average it down. That's the best way to put in some more money. And yeah, that's what I want to say about the market. I know a lot of people were panicking, but just wanted to show it's really healthy. Nothing to worry about in the 1 to 2 week term. Cool.
Can I ask some questions?
Go ahead.
So I started quite late in putting money into Binance. I started on Tuesday morning, right?
Yeah.
So I followed you. I did BTT, Hot, and Tron.
Uh-huh.
So I bought in quite late. So from what I've gathered, you're saying it's fine. Just hold on to it.
Yeah. So if we look at maybe like Tron, if we look at Tron, now Tron has been on a very much going up to a high, but it's very reactive to the market. I think if we do Tron, let's do Tron price. So Tron in 2017, in that bull run, Once this loads up, that is. Okay. So Tron at its all-time high reached 22 cents. 22p. Right now we are just at the 9-cent range. So Tron has a lot of space to move up. Now the Tron chart looks very nice and could see a movement of something along the lines of something like this.
So me buying at the high yesterday was insignificant.
It's very insignificant to the amount you're going to hold.
Okay, cool.
Because the main point of these buy-ins is that we're trying to, for the challenge, we're trying to go for the 10-20%, right? But if you are holding now during a market correction, the best thing is to just hold. If you sell, that's when you lose. If you hold on, there's almost an 80% chance right now with the way the market is going that everything you hold at the moment will bounce back up, right? It's almost impossible to lose. But the only thing is that the best way to trade is to separate your emotions from the chart. So that's why I like turning it off. I don't like looking at the Binance app too much when the market correction is open. I can look at it now because I'm very confident, but before it's best to just turn it off for sure. Yeah, you should see a major increase, and then hopefully as soon as we get that 10-20%, we'll just swing around. When there's a correction on each coin, we take out and we put it onto another one, and then we're here for the next launch up basically.
So, and do you know how you're saying? So if the market's taking a dip right now, you're saying you should put some money into your long terms.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So you should have a long term. Now, my personal strategy for trading the bull market is to not invest in the long term for now and use this bull market to get those 20-30%. So, for example, Ethereum is a very good coin. I very much agree with the coin. I think this thing has the possibility of going 20-30k, but it will do this slowly. But the chart, if Ethereum was to go from 2,000 to 2,500, right, that might be a 20% increase. Now, me personally, in this bull market, what I want to take advantage of is every coin going up 40-50%. So I just want to double my money and triple it constantly until the end, where I can just put my money into these long-term holds. They're much more reliable, because Tron, when it reaches the 20 cents, it's going to go back to being half a penny again, you know. So it's a high risk, high reward strategy personally, but I do recommend that each one of you has a long-term portfolio where they just slap in some money for the long-term holds and play with the money for this challenge. Of course, don't risk all your money and don't follow me into the death, or even though that's very valiant. But yeah,
have you told us what your long-term coins are?
So basically, I'm preparing a pie chart together with one other friend in here of a very good long-term hold strategy. For now, what I kind of want to do is just make sure that everyone in this call is expanding their portfolio as much as they can. So kind of like, you know, if you're starting off with $1,000. I kind of want to increase it to about like 10,000 to 20,000 before you start putting into these long-term holds. You could buy a physical hardware wallet and then put it into the long-term. But you know, the long-term pie, if you were to hold it from now till the end, you'll probably see maybe like a 200-300% increase. But if you've been following the challenge from day one up until now, we've gotten a 320% increase, not counting this correction now. So it's been going very well, and I think that kind of strategy is better. Just multiply your money now and then put it into the long term.
Alright, decent.
Cool. Anyone else?
Would you say Ethereum and Bitcoin are good long term?
Ethereum and Bitcoin, yeah. I mean, those the best long terms are the top 10 coins. So if you go by top 10 coins, right? So the top 10 coins are the best coins to hold for the long term. Right, all of these in terms of market cap have the potential to break out, except for US Tether. That's forget about this one. This is just $1 always. And XRP. Yeah, I have a personal vendetta against XRP, but you can hold XRP if you want. I don't like it. But yeah, the top 10 coins should be part of your long-term portfolio. So Chainlink, Litecoin, Uniswap, Polkadot, Cardano, Ethereum, BNB, and Bitcoin. These should definitely be your long-term. Yeah.
Thank you so much, man. I learned a lot.
No worries. Anyone else have any more questions about anything, or is that all clear? No? No questions is always good.
I'm good.
Cool. Okay, so hopefully this call, I recorded it as well. Hope you guys don't mind. I recorded it. I'm going to post it in the chat. So there should be no panic for alarm. Honestly, take these few days to relax, because the crypto market, looking at charts all day, can really do in your head. So just relax a little bit. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy the weather if it's nice weather. And then come back in a few days and we'll be back on. I'll be watching the charts and I'll give out some notifications.
Yeah. Thank you, man. Really appreciate it.
Alright, no worries. Thank you, guys. No worries. Alright, take care.
Take it.